So today is July 27th, Saturday, 2024. Finally, it's almost 11 o'clock. I'm making the morning videos. It's a little late, which is normal on the weekends. That by the time I get to make the video is usually a little later, but I still am trying to keep the continuity so that I follow on this path of mindfulness journey, because this is so important to continue. And I think as I have been doing this, I also figured that this itself, this journaling type of thing that I'm doing with the YouTube, that is giving me something constant in my life that is all up to me, right? Because it was interesting that yesterday, the video is shaking a little bit. It's our so anyway, I'm holding the tripod. Our old washing machine and the dryer, it's getting very old, and it's almost like the whole house shakes when they are on. So right now it is on, but good thing is that today we'll have them replaced, because the way the machines are, it's gonna break any minute. That's the situation. But anyway, this afternoon or evening it's supposed to be replaced. So yeah, where I was going with this, that yesterday when I was looking up some videos from Jay Shetty, and I mentioned in the video yesterday that I don't know enough about him. I know that he's very popular in the self-help industry. At the same time, recently he had some controversies, and I read up yesterday a little bit to learn more about it, and seemed like he has not responded to it yet. But anyway, for me, always what I try to do it is to explore and learn, because I think all the people in this field, they have something new that they try, because everybody tries to teach people something new, and now where the intention and the core of it could be different, but to me, if there is anything I can learn from anybody, I can always try to learn the good. And if something is not resonating with me, I can always put that aside. So that is the approach I took. And one of the things, it was so good, I thought, and I shared it with a friend too, because I thought it was so good, where Jay Shetty said, and I think I did talk about it in yesterday's video, but it was so good, I thought I will say it again today for my own purpose also, so that I remember that. He talked about, he hears that detachment or attachment, it is because if we live a detached life, and then it causes less suffering, right? That is in Buddhism. And detachment, normally we think is that we don't own anything, right? That's a normal thinking. And but his point was that that detachment also means that nobody or nothing owns you, right? So that, in my opinion, was a very different approach to think about, because ultimately it's all about what's in here, what we are thinking about, and what makes us feel like I don't know, like we are not deprived, right? The first thought, where the first thing where you think of that, okay, detachment means you don't own anything, that makes you feel like you are deprived or something. At the same time, when you add that second one, the detachment also means that nobody owns you, that you are the captain of your life, you are free. That comes from the second line, right? Detachment also means that nothing or no one owns you, because ultimately that's the truth. We know. I remember growing up, I think my dad used to say it, somehow the saying started, and then this time last year when I went to India, and I was saying that, and my mom thought it was kind of funny in a good way, that I was reminding her that, we all come alone and we go alone, meaning even though we are born in a family, and then we create our own family by getting married, having our own kids and stuff like that. But then when we die, we go alone, right? So we come alone and we go alone, and in between when we learn. So anyway, so that's all of those thought processes. It was kind of crossing my mind, and yeah. So anyway, I was sharing all of this. So I will go with my usual, where I do the progress. I kind of review the progress from the day prior, especially in the morning videos I try, and then I talk about some random stuff. Today I started with the random stuff, but again, the morning journaling is usually like that. I talk about a lot of different things. It kind of helps me to reflect on the day before, and sometimes even for a longer time, more than a day. If I didn't make any progress, if I feel like in a day, then I go back a month or a year. And finally, I do some grounding technique to bring myself really to the present moment. And also I do the mantra sometimes. So the mantras, I wrote it down for myself so that I keep making progresses. And I try to do the mantra a little more than how many times I make the videos. Usually on the weekends I tend to make more, weekdays a little less, depending on how the day is going. But I try to remind myself the mantra a lot more. This has been helping, I have noticed. I think sometimes also what happens is that I think talking about it yesterday. It's easier to forgive others, but it's harder to forgive ourselves if we make a mistake. So anyway, so progress. Yesterday I think I didn't do that good, which is okay, because every day we won't be doing that good. But if the normal trajectory is upwards, then we are good. Where yesterday, in a couple of different instances, I think I could have done better. So, and it's the awareness, having that understanding, reflecting, and where that is coming from. One was that fear, like Alice fell down, and again, I'm not going to talk much about it, because Wayne Dyer says, don't talk about what is versus what you want. So thankfully it was not too bad. She just had a little scratch on her knee, some blood came out, whatnot. So that made me really fearful. However, I realized that the next time around I can do better. So I got extremely fearful. But I think that is what we gotta, because in the deep inside, I think we have, there is this two types of feeling I talk about. So there's one is that the positive mind and everything positive in our mind, and the other side is the fear, anxiety, and challenges, whatnot. So there's just two different type of feeling that we have. There is like hundreds of feelings, but in a nutshell, there's two different types. And at the core of this is flight or fight, and that is from the fear. The fear is so deep inside, and it's like what happens is, as we grow up, when we are a kid, we live like we are fearless. We are literally fearless, and then as we grow up, we learn it from the older people, and the fear gets so strong in our mind sometime. And it's not a bad thing, because sometimes a lot of time it helps us to not help ourselves from bad situations or and things like that. At the same time, too much of anything is bad. So same thing, too much of fear could create anxiety and stress, and anger and things like that. Um, and when it comes to the positivity, now too much of positivity cannot be bad, but it is hard to get into that zone because our mind is so much, our subconscious, our autopilot is always here. So this is a part that we have to consciously work on. Um, I think when it comes to intention setting and visualizing, so I have been doing that lately. Yesterday, I don't know, maybe I could have done it a little better or something, I don't know. One thing I did do good though, because in the afternoon I think I felt a little stress in my body, and then I did Qigong after a long time. And if you don't know what Qigong is, it's I also didn't know until like last 6 months or so when I started doing it. And before that, I knew about it, but I had never done it. It's a little bit like yoga. Um, I'm a big fan of Thich Nhat Hanh, and I was actually reading a few pages of this book, How to Relax This Morning. This book is one of the best books ever, maybe. I think it's my number one in my list when it comes to Thich Nhat Hanh books. I read a lot of his books. And in one book, he talks about Qigong. That's when I thought, okay, Qigong and Tai Chi. I have never done Tai Chi, but Qigong seems more easier, so I started doing it, and then it does help. This afternoon, I may try to go to the gym a little bit if I can manage to go. But tomorrow, there's a Buddha Temple Festival, so I'm looking forward to that. And after that, I'm supposed to go to a friend's place. She has a 1-year-old daughter. So my daughter Ella, she's 8.5. Can do a little play date type of thing. So looking forward to that. I always like to get out of the house and do something if I can. It's not always possible with house chores or whatnot. But oh yeah, in my interview yesterday, I think it was okay. I might have been a little out of the game, but in general, I did focus a lot on the people and people's happiness coming to work, etc. But I don't know, the way it sounded like I think they wanted me to focus a little bit more on the revenue and growth and profitability, which comes with my job, because I think it's on the strategy side. Normally I would talk a lot more about that, but maybe because recently I'm doing so much on the mindfulness and happiness, midlife, etc. So I might have focused less on the profitability and revenue. Because ultimately in businesses to do one, you have to focus a lot on the revenue. But on their site and stuff, they did talk about a people first approach, which is I really do believe in when it comes to my values and beliefs. So I do believe that if it is meant to be, it will be. But even if it does, they said in 2-3 weeks I won't hear back because they have a lot of candidates they have to go through, and then even if it does, there'll be 4 more rounds. But anyway, that's kind of normal in my type of job. 4 or 5 rounds is very typical. Least would be 4, I guess. So anyway, but I'm confident that something will work out in time because I have found many jobs. So, and my friend's mom a couple days ago, she said something really good, and I've been doing this is helping. And if anybody watches this video, I would share the idea what she said. It's simple, it's the affirmation. She said, write it down on a piece of paper, like I'm strong, I'm beautiful, I'm confident, all of these things. So I have been doing a little bit in the mornings. I think I need to write it down and print it and see it, because it does help with your mindset, your confidence, and everything. So it was so awesome to hear that from her, especially when my mom is very, very far away and I'm not able to touch base with her as often. My friend, it is so kind of her to share her mom with me. She said, you can come anytime, hang out with her. So tomorrow, that's what I'm doing. Alice and I are going. Her mom will be there and her daughter will be there, and my friend actually will have something going on, so she won't be there. But I'm so grateful that they're doing that for me. And that is, again, it goes back to the humanity, people's goodness, because we sometimes tend to focus on what's not going good in our life, but there is so much good that goes on, so much what do they say, that undeserved blessings, right? So I don't know if undeserved, probably like a, I don't know the better way to say it, but in some way that's the thing, right? We don't necessarily, we are not entitled to it, right? But somebody is being so kind that they're trying to help us so much. And if you watch this video in your life, look around, and I'm pretty sure you will think of those people, if not now, at some point in your past, people showed the kindness. I think in Dale Carnegie book, he talks about somebody when they do show undeserved grace. This book is one of my all-time favorite books. How to win friends and influence people. Like when people show undeserved grace, and in Dale Carnegie it's a big thing, then we remember them, right? Yeah, because when times are good, you will have a lot of friends, existing friends and new friends. But then when times are hard, friends are there, and a lot of them will be there only for a little bit, and then they won't be. And it's understandable, people have their own challenges as they're going through. They can only support us for so long. Same thing with us, right? So when we get people who are there for us, who are helping us navigate a challenging time, we can be so grateful for them. When we pray, we can pray for them, and that's how we can spread peace in the world. Thich Nhat Hanh would say that when you are praying for somebody who is suffering, or even if they don't know, that creates peace in the world, or peace on this earth. So so I tend to do that sometime with my family, friends, and I try to pray for them too, and I pray for us. Fear, right? We all work with that fear, but we have to turn towards God. That's another way I found that, and it could be a midlife thing too, that this is Shiva, Hindu god. I got it from Amazon. And then I also prayed to Buddha. I prayed a little bit to Jesus too. I'm learning a little bit about Christianity. What I believe is, and some of it might be coming from Hinduism, is that all religion are okay, whatever resonates with you, and God, there is some force, that invisible force that we don't see, which you could call God, universe, collective consciousness, whatever resonates with you. There is that something, and when we turn towards that something, we find peace. So when there are challenging situations, we gotta remember that. Okay, so I'm gonna do the grounding with my senses, and then also I'll do my mantra. So let's do the grounding first. So I'm gonna do a few deep breaths and use all the other senses. So now the sounds, I can hear the sound of a plane. I can hear my voice. There's some sound in the house. Can't really hear anything else specific. And with my eyes, I can see the green, the tree, the leaves moving, and I see a crow, I think, down there. Excuse me. And different colors in the room, different objects, pink, red, green, white, and here the purple, yellow, orange, green, all the colors of the rainbow. This picture actually has almost all the colors of the rainbow, I think, except blue, dark and light blue colors I don't necessarily see. And see kind of blue over there. Yeah. I see blue here in the other picture. Anyway, and the taste, I taste the coffee. Oh, I'm drinking in this cup today. Every day is a fresh start. From dollar store, I got this cup, and I read some of the affirmation that I wrote down for like 6 years ago, and they're today's a new day, and I have added a line a couple days ago. Today I am a new me, right? So every day we are born as a new person. You can think of it this way, and that kind of, in my opinion, helps to remember to change ourselves. Where Joe Dispenza has a book called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. He says the biggest change you would ever make is to break the habit of being yourself, because our 90 to 95% of ourselves is the subconscious mind, and that's who we are. And if we can break that, that is like the biggest change. That's where all our thinking on this side, when I say good side, and the challenging side changes, and we can become more good. So anyway, so the taste, and this morning I made some pancake and waffles. Alice really wanted it, and yeah, I was just thinking about it. She was trying to help, and then it got a little challenging, and then kids are like that. She's 8.5. She wants to help, but sometimes when they try to help, they get in the way of that. But overall, it was not too bad. It was okay. She messed up while turning up a big pancake, and I was telling her that, it'll be hard for her to do, but she insisted she wanted to do that. Became a mess, but then we laughed about it a little bit, and then she didn't like that we laughed. So yeah. Anyway, okay. So now the temperature is not too bad, not hot, not cold. I feel my hands touching, and this makes a sound. I'm feeling that. And here on my head, the clothes, the string, so God, some puja we did a while ago, 2 months ago actually now. And the chair and the fabric and my legging that I'm wearing, the tablecloth, I'm feeling that. And as I keep doing this mindfulness practice, when I take a shower, wash the dishes, I actually do feel it more. So it's really, really helpful. I'm noticing that as I do more of these practices, I'm more living in the present moment, because I think one of the Thich Nhat Hanh books, he says, it's not important how many years you live, but how you live them. And I think Abraham Lincoln also had a saying like that it's not the years that counts in the end, it's the something like that, how you count them or something like that, because you can live a happier life in a year compared to 20 years you may live in suffering. So ultimately at the end, it's the days that you live in a fulfilling way is what's important, and that's what I'm trying to focus more these days, and trying to live my life that way, the remainder of my life, who knows how long is remaining, right? So that focus on fulfillment. And I remember back in 2020-ish time when it was pandemic, I would do gratitude practice every day and exercise daily. And the exercise, the other day, a friend of mine and I were talking about the physical exercise is not only for physical exercise, because during that I used to listen to Abraham Hicks at that point. And these days I would probably listen to either Buddhism books or Louise Hay or Dale Carnegie or one of this type of self-help type of books to grow and to learn. And that helps mentally and physically. And those are the things that helps. It's like even if you're spending only half hour or 1 hour a day doing that, the remaining 23 hours you are living a happier life. So it is so worth it. So that's what I'm slowly trying to get to, and I think next week on I'm going to focus more on the job search thing, because that I do want to make my number one priority, because it's been a while, and after all the things, now I think I gave myself some time to heal, and I think I'm there. All the medical situations are getting sorted, and I do have to do more intention setting and visualizing. So the sixth sense thing that I do, now I'm thinking of that focus, that I need to find a job and I need to focus and kind of do the schedule, good or bad. That's how I kind of roll. I kind of try to go with the schedule. So I'm kind of trying to stick to the schedule more starting next week. And when I go to the gym, I'll try to follow the same time. That way the time will trigger my mind to start going there, because that will really help. I was talking to my friend about that the other day. She was also saying the same thing. So yeah, I think I'm going to stop the video now, and maybe throughout the day here and there I'll make some short videos. And oh yeah, I gotta do my mantras before I finish, because that helps. So this part, and if you haven't seen my videos before, I tried to attach my mantra with my physical parts of the body. That the concept I got from is one of the Jason Stevenson videos. I kind of merged two concepts from that and the mantra itself together. It says it for different thing, but I kind of merged it. So this is the part like where I accept all the things that not only what I can change, but also the things I can change, because normally we talk about accepting the things that we can't change, but I think it is also important to accept everything, because sometimes the thing we can change, we change it, and that can also create some sort of resentment or something, because if it's against our will or something like that. So this helps us to remove that resistance. So I kind of said that I accept everything. And this part, which is how we communicate with people, because our thinking and feeling, I think in the Dale Carnegie book it says, out of the overflow of our feeling is mouth speaks. So if we are sad, the words that will come out of our mouth, sad or fearful, won't be positive. We know that, right? And then if we are happy, the positive words will come automatically. So we have to kind of train and use the mantra for this part as we speak, that how in Buddhism they would say, I vow to speak only positive, kind, and uplifting words. So I've been trying to train myself with that. Positive, kind, and uplifting words. And heart chakra, I love all beings. Peace, I share peace. Positivity, optimism, and understanding. And patience, I show patience with all beings, even in difficult situations, because that's when it's most important. Because easy situations are easy, patience comes easy, but when it's adverse situation, unkind situation, that's when we have to practice our patience, and that's when it grows. Like a Desmond Tutu quote, he says that our kindness grows when we are tested. So same thing, our patience grows when we are tested, and we can show patience. So say we couldn't show patience in a situation today, but if we can show it tomorrow, then our patience grows. The third time we'll be able to show more, because we were tested the second time and we couldn't do it. So that's, I'm trying to test myself there, growing my patience. And present moment, I live in the present moment. This right now is the present, right? This now is the present. What happened yesterday doesn't matter. What will happen tomorrow we can't control. This minute is what is most important. This is the only time that exists in the universe for me, right? So different people have that different. Be kind. I have printed something there to remind myself, be kind, be the kind one. Also, what good shall I do this day? So that it kind of reminds me to stay in the good zone. we all get tested and we'll not always be perfect, but we gotta try. So I'm trying. And I left leg, I attach that with forgiveness. So we have to forgive all beings, all the situations, all the events from the past and the present, even in the future. If we can live in that forgiveness mindset, it doesn't only it helps other people, but it actually helps us more, because then we are not carrying those baggages with us. It sets us free. Forgiveness and free both starts with F, if you notice. When we forgive somebody, it sets us free. That's what they say in all the books, and it does. You'd feel it after some time. It sets us free. And you may not feel it right away. After some time, you would feel it right out. And then finally, on the right leg, I do the look for positive in every situation. And it has happened to me that sometimes I don't find the positive right away. And I just have to keep looking for it, keep thinking about it. And most of the time, after some time, I do find the positive. If not anything, we can learn from the situation, because there's always something we can learn from a situation. And sometimes the learning won't come right away. It'll come after some time. But that's what we can do, and forgiving ourselves too is important, because when we do something wrong and we're like, oh, I could have done better in that situation, what are we going to tell ourselves? What I learned from Wayne Dyer and others in this field is that to tell ourselves that in that situation I did my best, knowing what I knew then, what my conscious mind and subconscious served me, but now I would do it differently by knowing what I know now, right? And we got to train our mind. And Joe Dispenza says it in a funny way, but it does really make sense. It's like when you train a dog, you can train your mind just like that. There's a conscious mind. And when you're trying to train them the first time, they may not do the things they're supposed to do, but you keep training, and then they might do it right 5 times in a row, and 6th time they may not, and then the 7th time they'll do it right again. So our mind is exactly like that. We just have to keep doing it until it becomes a habit. And habit, they say habit forming takes anywhere between 1 to 2 months at least, when you consciously keep doing it. And my videos are actually one of the things I wanted to train myself with, so that I stay in this path. Today is July 27th. It marks actually 2 exact months, because I started this video on May 27th. I created the channel in March, but with all the things, I just didn't have the time, or I didn't prioritize it. I didn't start making the videos. And finally on May 27th, which was the Memorial Day weekend, I thought, no matter what, I'm just gonna start the video today. And since then, every day I made it. And with ups and downs and whatnot happening in life, this is the continuity I'm keeping. And it has become a habit now that no matter what happens, even if there's a doctor's appointment, whatnot, even if I can't make a video in the morning, I think a couple days it happened, I couldn't make the videos in the morning, but I made sure that I did in the afternoon, because it has become a habit. So if you're doing anything, if you're journaling on in a notebook or in a computer, or whatever that you're doing, continue doing that. And somebody told me that really also actually helped me. I was like, how will I do it? How will I continue with everything when I start my job? At some point I will. And she said that, come up with a plan that works for you. It does not have to be like anybody else. And that gave me an idea that even if I can't do every day, I could do, 3 times a week, or even once a week, but I continue with that plan, right? I think I could always do like a 1 minute grounding myself before I start my day at work, and that might even help me to stay grounded, stay more positive, and be more patient in challenging situations. But I'll see when time comes. I'll figure it out. But that idea was so good. I think she was amazing there to tell me that come up with a plan that works for you and just stick with that. And that gave me some relief. And also that comes with, I think, wisdom. See, she's a lot older than me. She's, I think, mid-50s or close to 60 or something. So yeah, I'm going to continue doing that. So whatever you are doing, It doesn't have to be that you're in midlife. You could be in your 20s, you could be 60s, but ultimately, what gives you the happiness, right? So for me, when sometimes my mind is agitated, I turn towards these books. I turn towards prayer. I turn towards God. I listen to either YouTube videos related to that, or just simply pray, and it works. My mind goes into a better place. And the self-help type of things have resonated with me for a long time now, like maybe more than, I don't know, 10 years. So I turn towards those more. Someday I do plan on attending some sort of retreat. I don't know, next year, maybe either a Buddhist monastery, I don't know, Plum Village. That someday I'll go there because I need to go get a visa or something if I were to go to France to go to Plum Village. But if not, at least in the United States itself, they have a couple of them. So I might go attend a retreat there, or attend a Joe Dispenza workshop, or maybe even Tony Robbins workshop, I don't know, something, because the self-help thing, some people look at it differently, but for me, I guess it kind of makes sense because I didn't really have a mentor until, I don't know, last few years, and even then I didn't have a ongoing mentor like who I'm continuously working with. I had last few years here and there some mentors. I kind of asked them for advice and they would help me, but it's pretty much me, myself, helping myself. And I guess now that I'm talking about it, it makes sense why self-help resonates with me more. And I guess majority of the people are like that. You grow up because everybody's life is very unique, and we know sometimes best how or what will help us most, right? Even if our mentors, they give us some guidance, we have to personalize it in our own way to get the help that we really need, and that is self-help. Anyways, I will do a few deep breathing and do the intention setting and visualize for today and tomorrow, because visualization is what makes a big difference. So try that out. I'm going to do that. Remembering to smile. The Buddhism half smile is important, and remember to do that. And keeping the little things little is so important. We forget that our life is short. We are all made of stardust. One day we're all going to die. 100 years from now, none of us will exist. We got to all spread love, peace, understanding, caringness, kindness, goodness, empathy. And the good words have good energy, so good and positive words, we need to keep saying those, because those energies, everything is energy, as they would say. Even this cup has energy, the coffee has energy, and the book, the water, everything has energy. So and energy can be two kinds, positive or negative. So if we can spread more positivity, it's always good for us, because that creates a good and positive inner world, and our outer world is the reflection, the real reflection of our inner world. It's just like a mirrors, right? So if we have goodness, kindness, all of that going on inside, that is what gets reflected on the outside. So we just have to keep doing that more and more, so that that's what is reflected on the outside, right? And we can't be impatient on ourselves too, because sometimes we get impatient on others, and sometimes we get impatient on ourselves too. Like, if our car is moving at 25 miles an hour, we want to drive 50 miles an hour. And that's understandable, because in today's life, when in social media, Instagram, TikTok, everything is fast. But we got to give ourselves some grace too, that if we were driving 50 miles an hour on this side, or I'd say this side, because this side is what I refer as like the negative, 50 miles an hour, and then you have to go 50 miles in the positive. So first we have to slow it down, get in the neutral zone, and then go on the other side slowly, right? So I don't know, I consider myself that I have passed the neutral zone. I'm getting there. I don't know, I'm maybe 20, 25 miles here. I'm gonna go to 50 miles, but it'll take time, right? So I have to give that grace to myself, that I've been practicing this for now about 7, 8 months. I don't know, maybe a couple more months. I'll be there. I'll keep practicing, and I'll be more consistent with it, I guess. I don't know. I'll see. I can only do my best, right? So I'm gonna keep trying. I'll keep trying to be better, more peaceful version of myself, and I'll keep trying to spread positivity and peace to the world. This is my thing, because it makes me happy too when I can make someone smile, I can make someone feel better. Gratitude, that's how I feel happiness, because when I did some exercise in a book, writing, it said that what I wanted to tell my younger self, and I said to be grateful for the things. And growing up, we were kind of poor in American standards, so saying that, and then it said that that matches with my values and beliefs, which was very interesting to know. And it said, this is supposed to be a gift of mine, and I am supposed to spread in the world. And it didn't fully resonate. I mean, not resonate, I didn't really know what it meant. How do you spread gratitude in the world? And then when I was talking to somebody, she pointed it out, like how I did the gratitude wall in a company when I worked for the 100 people team. And at that time I didn't even know what gratitude wall is. I actually randomly came up with it, and then I heard that it was a real thing anyway. And then they tried to do it in the rest of the organization, and then I did it at home too. When things kind of, here the gratitude cards, I started doing it from January. I do it on most days. Sometimes I miss it, but this morning also I did it, because sometimes it takes only a minute, and it's very easy to not do and just think in your mind. But when you write it down, it does make a big difference, because it stays more in your mind. And I even started doing a smiley face at the end of it. I usually do 3 or 4 gratitudes as it fits in the card, and then I do a smiley face to remind myself of Buddhism half smile that Thich Nhat Hanh talks about. So anyway, so she said, like, see how you did it. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And then back in 2019, I think during Christmas time, I remember how I was listening something in the radio show, Kane show, and then I remembered that I came up with this idea. I had this pouch of a few chocolates and a card for all the team members, 100 people team members, and wrote it down in the hand. Not only myself, 4 or 5 other people helped, and we thanked the team and their families for their dedication, their work, because families also have to dedicate their time for somebody to work, sometimes even extra hours and things like that. And those made me so happy. So I guess I have to focus more on that, how I can make a difference in other people's lives. And I think I have to do more at home, like they said, charity begins at home. And I think in the last few years, it may be so that I got so focused on the outside world, making my team happy and people at work happy, that some of the things it's possible I took it for granted at home. And I want to do, charity begins at home. I want to do better at home to make people feel happy, and then that will multiply in the outer world too. So anyway, a lot of this is like, I'm talking about random things, but it does help me to think through things and how I can make a difference, because in the end, we're all going to die, but in our deathbed, if we feel content, and different people will feel the contentment from different things. And I think for me, when I can make someone smile, when I can make someone stay a little bit better, it makes me feel better. And that's what I gotta do. because ultimately we all seek for happiness, we all seek for the contentment, and right, whichever way it helps us. Okay, so wow, I talked almost 45 minutes today. I can't believe that. But okay, bye.